Hey, MathKook here. This video contains one of many examples in my Algebra 2 library. The rest of those examples, along with hundreds of other videos, are only available at mathkook.com. Let's MathKook it up. This question says, find the vertical asymptotes and holes for the function g of x equals x minus 5 all over x cubed minus 2x squared minus 15x. So let's define a vertical asymptote and look at the steps to find it. So a vertical asymptote is a vertical line the graph approaches but never touches. So this red dashed line here is a vertical asymptote. Notice the equation of this line is x equals a number. That number is wherever the vertical asymptote crosses the x-axis here. And for the definition of a hole, the hole is a point on the curve that is not defined. So let's look at the steps to find vertical asymptotes. So step number 1 is factor the denominator. So let's start with that step for our g of x here. So sometimes you need to factor the numerator as well, but in this case it's just x minus 5, so there's nothing to factor there. On the bottom, is there a common factor that we can take out? Yes, there is. We can take out an x. So we're left with x squared minus 2x minus 15. All right, our next step is to try to factor the trinomial. So we have 15 here, and notice it's negative, which tells us that the signs of the two numbers must be opposite. So one must be positive and one must be negative. So we need two numbers that multiply to 15 that have a difference of 2. Those two numbers are 5 and 3. So which one's going to be negative, which one is going to be positive? So x minus and x plus. So the one that's going to be negative is the bigger one because we want to end up with a negative 2. So the bigger one is 5 and the smaller one is 3. All right, so now this is fully factored. However, notice if we notice here, there's a step 3 says caution. If the same factor is on top as the bottom, then there's a hole at that x value, not a vertical asymptote. So here, notice there's an x minus 5 and an x minus 5. That tells us that these cancel and that there's a hole at x equals 5. So I'll bring this up here. So we know there's going to be a hole here at 5 comma something. Okay, so we'll have to find that y value in a second. So let's rewrite this simplified here now that the x minus 5s cancel. So we'll have 1 over x times x plus 3. All right, now we can find our vertical asymptotes. So here's our condensed function, and we can set each of these equal to 0. We'll get back to the hole in a second, but for now we'll find our vertical asymptotes. So we get x equals 0, and then x plus 3 equals 0, and then we'll move the 3 over to the other side to solve for x. Since it's plus 3, we will subtract 3. 3's cancel, x equals negative 3. All right, so our vertical asymptotes are x equals 0 and x equals negative 3. All right, we'll slide those over here. So those are our vertical asymptotes. Okay, next we have to find the y value of the hole. So to find that, we use our condensed function. So after we cancel out the x minus 5 factors, we use this guy here, and we're going to plug in 5 for the x value. So I'll draw an arrow here. So we're going to plug in 5, so 1 over, then it'll become, I'll plug in the 5 in blue so we can kind of see 5, and then 5 plus 3. So all we're doing is plugging in a 5 wherever we see x. So this simplifies to 1 over 5 times 8, which equals 1 over 40. All right, so that is our y value of the hole, so that's what goes here. So I'll write that here, 1 over 40. Okay, so our hole is going to be at 5 comma 1 over 40, and our vertical asymptotes are going to be at x equals 0 and x equals negative 3. Hey Kook, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. For unlimited access to all of my Algebra 2 videos, visit mathkook.com. Thanks for watching.